Have you ever felt the sting of disrespect? Words or actions that seem to chip away at your self-worth? What if I told you that no one could ever make you feel disrespected again? The ancient philosophy of Stoicism offers us a way to fortify our spirits so profoundly that the judgments or insults of others lose their power over us. Imagine living each day with a calm, resilient, and self-respecting soul, unshaken by external chaos. But here's the secret. Respect doesn't come from others. It is not a gift someone bestows upon us. It is something we cultivate from within. This philosophy, practiced by great thinkers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, teaches us that self-respect, mindfulness, and inner peace are the keys to unlocking a life where no one's words or actions can belittle us. In this video, I will guide you through 15 timeless lessons from Stoicism, principles that, once embraced, will transform your life. These lessons will teach you to master your mind, control your emotions, and embody a calm strength that demands respect. By the end, you'll realize the true power lies in your ability to respect yourself. Let's begin with the foundation of this journey, the art of inner peace. 1. Inner peace, the core of resilience. Do you ever feel like life's challenges are pulling you in every direction, leaving you scattered and restless? Imagine for a moment being in the eye of a storm, utterly calm and unshaken by the chaos around you. This state of inner peace is not a gift from fortune or the absence of hardship. It is a skill you cultivate through your thoughts and choices. The Stoics teach us that the foundation of respect, both self-respect and the respect of others, is inner peace. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." These words hold the key to mastering the storms of life. What happens when someone insults you? Is it their words that wound, or is it your reaction? Pause for a moment and reflect. The Stoics believed that no one could harm your soul unless you let them. Insults are nothing but noise unless you give them meaning. But how do we find this unshakable calm in the midst of life's provocations? Start by accepting that many things are beyond your control. Traffic jams, a rude colleague, or a harsh critique. None of these are yours to command. What you can control is how you respond. If you choose calmness over anger, you reclaim your power. Think about a time when you lost your temper or allowed someone's words to disturb your peace. Did your reaction help the situation, or did it only add to your distress? The Stoics advise us to pause, reflect, and respond thoughtfully. By doing so, we transform every challenge into an opportunity for growth. Inner peace doesn't mean avoiding life's chaos. It means engaging with it from a place of strength. Consider a morning commute, horns blaring, cars inching forward, and your patience wearing thin. Instead of succumbing to frustration, what if you used this time to breathe deeply, reflect on your day, or listen to something uplifting? This simple shift in mindset could turn a stressful situation into a moment of clarity. But what about deeper challenges? Loss, betrayal, or failure? Can we find peace in these moments? The Stoics say yes. They encourage us to see every hardship as a lesson, every loss as a reminder of life's impermanence, and every failure as a stepping stone to wisdom. Ask yourself, what would your life look like if you could maintain inner peace in all circumstances? How much lighter would you feel if you stopped reacting impulsively to things you cannot control? As you cultivate inner peace, you lay the foundation for a resilient and self-respecting spirit. This peace will shield you from disrespect, as you'll no longer depend on external validation. Instead, your strength will come from within. And with this strength, you're ready to explore the next key to living a life of respect: mindfulness. 2. Mindfulness, the power of awareness. Have you ever paused to ask yourself, Is it truly the words of others that hurt me, or is it my reaction to them? Mindfulness, according to Stoicism, is the key to answering this question. It allows us to separate reality from perception, granting us the power to choose how we respond to life's provocations. The Stoics didn't view mindfulness as merely living in the present moment. They saw it as a profound understanding of life and our place within it. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "You have to assemble your life yourself, action by action, and be satisfied if each one achieves its goal, as far as it can. Every thought, every response, every decision builds your life. Are you building wisely? When someone criticizes you, does the insult define your worth, or does your reaction? Most often, it is our interpretation of the words, not the words themselves, that causes pain. Mindfulness teaches us to see these moments for what they truly are, fleeting and external. We cannot control what others say or do, but we can control how we perceive and respond. Think about the last time you felt disrespected. Did you react immediately, perhaps with anger or frustration? What might have changed if you had paused, reflected, and chosen a response with clarity and calmness? Mindfulness creates that pause. It helps us understand that insults are not reflections of our value, but of the insecurities or struggles of the one delivering them. To live mindfully is to see beyond appearances. Imagine someone cutting you off in traffic. Your initial reaction might be irritation, but mindfulness asks, could this person be rushing to an emergency? Could they be distracted by personal struggles? By choosing compassion over anger, you maintain your inner peace. Mindfulness also teaches us to focus on what we can control. When faced with a difficult situation, ask yourself, what lies within my power? Is it the outcome? No. Is it your effort and attitude? Absolutely. This shift in focus frees you from unnecessary stress and empowers you to act with purpose. But mindfulness isn't just a tool for handling adversity. It's a way to enhance every moment of life. When you eat, do you savor each bite, or are you distracted by your phone? When you converse, do you truly listen, or are you planning what to say next? The Stoics remind us that life is fleeting and precious. Every moment is an opportunity to live with intention. Are you ready to bring mindfulness into your daily life? What could change if you approached every interaction, every challenge, with awareness and purpose? Imagine a life where you are no longer a slave to impulsive reactions, but a master of thoughtful responses. If this resonates with you, take a moment to reflect. Share your thoughts in the comments below. How might mindfulness transform the way you handle life's challenges? If you've ever had a moment where mindfulness helped you, let us know. And if you're finding value in these lessons of Stoicism, give this video a like to let us know we're on the right path. Together, we're building a community grounded in resilience and wisdom. Let's move forward to the next lesson, where we'll explore the transformative power of impermanence. 3. Impermanence. Embracing the constant flow of change. Why do we cling to what is fleeting? Why do we fear change, knowing that it is the only certainty life offers? The Stoics remind us that impermanence is not something to resist, but something to embrace. In fact, it is through accepting the transient nature of all things that we unlock true freedom and resilience. Everything around us, from the joys we cherish to the pains we endure, is temporary. Marcus Aurelius observed this truth in his Meditations. Soon you will have forgotten all things, and soon all things will have forgotten you. While this might sound stark, it is not a call to despair, but an invitation to appreciate life more deeply. Consider the seasons. Spring's blossoms fade into summer's warmth, which gives way to autumn's golden hues, eventually yielding to winter's stillness. Do we curse the seasons for changing, or do we marvel at the beauty of each moment, knowing it will not last? Life follows the same pattern, and impermanence makes each experience precious. Yet, many of us resist this reality. We cling to what is familiar, fearing the unknown. Have you ever held on to a job, a relationship, or a dream long after it ceased to serve you, simply because letting go seemed too daunting? This resistance only breeds suffering. The Stoics teach us to welcome change, not as a threat, but as an opportunity to grow. Epictetus once said, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them." Losing a job, for instance, may feel devastating at first. But is it the loss itself, or your perception of it, that causes the pain? Could this loss also be a doorway to something new, a chance to pursue a path you never considered? Impermanence also reminds us to cherish the present moment. How often do we take for granted the simple joys of life? A loved one's laughter, a sunrise, or even the quiet of a peaceful morning. When we realize that nothing lasts forever, we begin to savor these moments with greater intensity. Each one becomes a gift, not a given. But what about the painful aspects of impermanence, loss, failure, and endings? The Stoics offer a way to navigate these with grace. Instead of lamenting what is gone, they urge us to focus on what remains within our control, our response. Seneca wisely observed, "What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears." In other words, loss is an intrinsic part of existence, and accepting it allows us to move forward with strength. Think of a successful entrepreneur who builds an empire only to see it crumble in an instant. Their strength lies not in the wealth they once possessed, but in their ability to rebuild, to adapt, and to face change with courage. Impermanence strips away what is unnecessary and forces us to focus on what truly matters. Ask yourself, what are you holding on to that no longer serves you? What would happen if you let go and embraced the flow of life? Change is not the enemy, it is the essence of existence. Each ending is a beginning in disguise. As you reflect on the impermanence in your own life, remember this: it is through accepting change that we find freedom. The fear of losing what we have binds us, but the courage to let go liberates us. And with this liberation, we are ready to explore the next lesson: the transformative power of forgiveness. 4. Forgiveness. Freeing yourself from the chains of resentment. Why is it so difficult to forgive? Why do we hold on to grudges, replaying past wrongs in our minds as if doing so might change the outcome? Forgiveness, in the eyes of the Stoics, is not about absolving others of their faults, but about freeing ourselves from the burden of anger and resentment. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, began each day by preparing his mind. "Today I shall meet with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness." He understood that encountering human flaws is inevitable, but he also reminded himself that these flaws arise from ignorance, not malice, and that we have the power to choose our response. Think for a moment about someone who has wronged you. Perhaps their actions were thoughtless or even cruel. Does holding on to that resentment improve your life? Or does it weigh you down, consuming your energy and peace of mind? The Stoics argue that forgiveness is not a gift to the offender, it is a gift to yourself. By letting go of anger, you reclaim your inner calm. Forgiveness does not mean condoning injustice. It does not require you to ignore wrongdoing or allow harm to continue. Instead, it is the recognition that clinging to hatred serves no purpose. As Epictetus said, "When someone does you wrong, do not repay them with the same." To act out of anger is to allow another's actions to dictate your behavior, precisely what the Stoics sought to avoid. But how can we forgive when the wound feels so deep? Begin by reframing the situation. Ask yourself, what might have driven this person to act as they did? Are they carrying their own pain, fears, or insecurities? This perspective does not excuse their actions, but it can foster understanding. As Marcus Aurelius noted, whenever you are offended at someone's lack of shame, you should immediately ask yourself, so is it possible for there to be no shameless people in the world? Consider the example of forgiveness in history. Nelson Mandela, after spending 27 years in prison, chose not to seek vengeance against those who had wronged him. Instead, he extended forgiveness and worked toward reconciliation. His choice to forgive did not erase the injustices he endured, but it freed him to focus on building a better future. Forgiveness also aligns with the Stoic principle of controlling what lies within our power. We cannot change the past or undo the actions of others, but we can control how we carry those memories. Do we let them embitter us, or do we use them as a catalyst for growth? Imagine carrying a heavy load of anger and resentment on a long journey. Would you not tire under its weight? Forgiveness allows you to set that burden down and walk forward unencumbered. It does not mean forgetting what happened, but it means refusing to let the past dictate your future. What about situations where the offender shows no remorse? Can we still forgive? The Stoics would say yes, because forgiveness is not contingent upon the other person's actions. It is an act of self-liberation. By forgiving, you choose peace over pain, clarity over chaos. Reflect on a grudge you've been holding. What has it cost you, and what might you gain by letting it go? Forgiveness is a powerful act of self-respect, a refusal to let anger control your life. It clears the path for inner freedom and allows you to focus on what truly matters. As we let go of resentment, we open ourselves to gratitude, a virtue that shifts our perspective from what we lack to what we have. In the next lesson, we'll explore how gratitude can transform our lives and bring us closer to true contentment. 5. Gratitude, embracing the fullness of life. When was the last time you paused to appreciate the small but profound gifts in your life? Gratitude, according to Stoicism, is more than just saying thank you. It is a way of seeing the world, a lens that transforms even the simplest moments into treasures. The Stoics believed that gratitude is at the heart of inner peace. Seneca wrote, "Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart." To live with gratitude is to recognize the abundance already present in your life. But how often do we let the weight of what we don't have overshadow the joy of what we do? Take a moment to reflect on your daily life. Have you ever stopped to appreciate the warmth of the sun on your skin, the sound of laughter, or the presence of someone you love? These moments, though fleeting, are the fabric of a meaningful life. Gratitude turns the ordinary into the extraordinary, grounding us in the richness of the present. The Stoics also teach us to be grateful for challenges. Why? Because difficulties shape us. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." A setback, while painful, is also an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Could you reframe your struggles as gifts in disguise? Consider the story of someone who faced a life-altering accident. In losing the ability to walk, they gained a profound appreciation for the simple act of standing or taking a step. Through hardship, they discovered the true value of life's basic joys. What challenges in your life could you begin to see through this lens of gratitude? Gratitude is not just a private practice. It's a way to connect with others. When was the last time you expressed genuine gratitude to someone? A friend, a colleague, or even a stranger? Sharing gratitude strengthens bonds, creating a ripple effect of positivity. A simple thank you can brighten someone's day and remind you of the interconnectedness of life. Yet, many of us fall into the trap of chasing what we don't have, thinking happiness lies somewhere in the future. The Stoics warn us against this endless pursuit. Epictetus advised, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." Ask yourself, Are you spending more time wanting or appreciating? Gratitude also teaches us acceptance. Not everything in life will go our way, but when we are grateful for what remains, we build resilience. Even in loss, there is something to hold on to, a lesson, a memory, or simply the strength to endure. How can you start cultivating gratitude today? Begin with small acts. Write down 3 things you're thankful for each morning, or take a moment to thank someone who has impacted your life. These habits may seem simple, but they have the power to transform your mindset. If this lesson resonates with you, take a moment to share what you're grateful for in the comments. Has Stoicism helped you see life differently? If so, let us know by giving this video a like. Your insights and reflections might inspire someone else on their journey. As we continue, gratitude prepares us for the humility needed to grow. Let's explore how humility, a cornerstone of Stoic wisdom, can unlock new perspectives and deepen our respect for life and others. 6. Humility, recognizing your place in the grand design. Have you ever asked yourself what entitles you to know all, to be right, or to always have your way? Humility, as the Stoics teach, is not about devaluing yourself, but about understanding your true place in the vastness of the universe. It is a quiet acknowledgement of both your strengths and your limitations. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not think yourself more than you are, but do not think yourself less than you are. Be content with your nature." Humility is the balance between overconfidence and self-doubt, a state where you are open to growth, yet grounded in self-awareness. How often do we let pride close the door to new perspectives? When was the last time you truly listened to someone with the intent to learn, not to respond? Arrogance blinds us to wisdom, but humility clears the way for understanding. The Stoics believe that everyone, no matter their station in life, has something to teach us. Are you humble enough to learn from others? Consider this. Even the greatest minds, scientists, philosophers, and leaders, acknowledge the limits of their knowledge. Socrates, often regarded as the wisest of the ancient Greeks, famously declared, "I know that I know nothing." His humility wasn't weakness, but strength, a recognition that the pursuit of knowledge is endless. In daily life, humility allows us to approach relationships and challenges with an open heart. Think about a disagreement at work or with a loved one. Were you so focused on proving yourself right that you missed an opportunity to understand their perspective? How might humility have changed the outcome? The Stoics also remind us that humility is essential when facing failure. Have you ever clung to the idea of perfection, only to feel devastated when things didn't go as planned? Humility teaches us that mistakes are part of the human experience. They are not signs of weakness, but stepping stones to growth. As Epictetus noted, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Only by admitting what we don't know can we begin to learn. But humility is not just about personal growth, it's about harmony with the larger world. Imagine standing on a mountaintop, gazing at the vast landscape below. In that moment, you might feel small, but not insignificant. The Stoics believed that recognizing our smallness within the grand design of nature brings peace. It frees us from the ego's demands and reminds us to align our actions with a greater purpose. How often do we resist this truth, insisting on our importance or clinging to control? The Stoics encourage us to release such illusions. Instead, they urge us to live in accordance with the natural order, accepting our role without complaint or arrogance. Humility, then, is not a surrender, but a liberation. Ask yourself, what might change in your life if you embraced humility? Could you listen more, judge less, and approach challenges with greater resilience? Could you find freedom in acknowledging your limits while striving for wisdom and virtue? As we cultivate humility, we become better equipped to handle adversity with grace. This prepares us for our next lesson, the virtue of patience and how it can guide us through life's most trying moments. 7. Patience, the strength to endure. How often do we find ourselves restless, frustrated, or impatient when life does not unfold as we expect? Whether it's waiting for a result, dealing with a difficult person, or enduring hardship, our natural instinct is to rush through discomfort. Yet, the Stoics teach us that patience is not only a virtue, it is a profound strength that allows us to navigate life's challenges with dignity and resilience. Marcus Aurelius, reflecting on the nature of time, wrote, "Whatever happens to you has been waiting to happen since the beginning of time." These words remind us that everything we encounter is part of the natural flow of life. To resist it is futile. To endure it with patience is wisdom. Patience is more than simply waiting. It is how we wait. Do you stew in anger and frustration, or do you use the time to reflect, learn, and grow? Consider a potter shaping clay. Each step, kneading, molding, and firing, requires time and care. Rushing the process would ruin the piece. In the same way, life's trials shape us, but only if we approach them with calm and persistence. Have you ever been in a situation where impatience led you to act impulsively, only to regret it later? Perhaps you snapped at someone in frustration or gave up on a goal too soon. The Stoics remind us that patience tempers our actions, allowing us to choose wisely instead of reacting blindly. Patience also teaches us to accept what lies beyond our control. Imagine waiting for the outcome of an important decision, a job interview, a medical result, or a relationship issue. Worrying changes nothing, but it drains your energy and peace of mind. Instead, focus on what you can control: your preparation, your attitude, and your response to the result. Epictetus advised, "When you are offended at any man's fault, turn to yourself and study your own failings. Then you will forget your anger." This principle applies to patience as well. When we grow frustrated with others, it often reflects our own expectations and lack of understanding. By exercising patience, we learn to accept others' flaws and approach them with compassion. The Stoics also saw patience as a companion to resilience. Life is unpredictable, filled with delays, setbacks, and hardships. How you face these moments defines your character. Think of a marathon runner. The race is long and arduous, but each step brings them closer to the finish line. Similarly, patience allows us to endure the journey without losing sight of our goals. But patience is not passive. It is an active engagement with life. It is the decision to persevere, even when progress is slow or unseen. Have you ever planted a seed and watched it grow? The process is invisible at first, but with time and care, it blossoms. Your efforts in life often follow the same path. Trust in the process and let patience guide you. Ask yourself, how might your life improve if you practiced patience more often? Could you approach difficulties with less frustration? Could you build stronger relationships by listening instead of reacting? Could you stay committed to your goals, even when progress feels slow? The next time you feel impatience creeping in, pause, take a breath. Remind yourself that all things take time and that your strength lies not in rushing but in enduring. With patience, we cultivate the calm and steady mindset needed to face life's challenges. And with this strength, we are ready to embrace the next lesson, the power of contentment. 8. Contentment, finding joy in sufficiency. Why do we so often chase after more? More success, more possessions, more recognition. Yet, when we achieve these things, the satisfaction is fleeting. Contentment, as the Stoics teach, is not about giving up on ambition, but about recognizing that true happiness comes from appreciating what you already have. Epictetus reminds us, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. In a world that constantly urges us to desire more, contentment is a radical act. It is the choice to step off the endless treadmill of comparison and find joy in the sufficiency of the present. Have you ever achieved a goal or acquired something you longed for, only to immediately set your sights on the next thing? Did it truly make you happier, or did it leave you yearning for more? The Stoics understood this trap of insatiable desire and offered a way out: contentment. Contentment begins with gratitude. When you focus on what you have rather than what you lack, you shift your perspective. Suddenly, the small things, a warm meal, a supportive friend, or the beauty of nature, become sources of profound joy. What are some things in your life right now that you might be taking for granted? Could you pause and truly appreciate them? But contentment is not about settling or abandoning your dreams. It is about pursuing your goals with clarity and balance, free from the anxiety of needing to have it all. Marcus Aurelius put it best: very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. Ask yourself, are you seeking external validation, or are you building a life aligned with your values? Imagine living with the belief that what you have is enough. Would your stress diminish? Would you find more peace in your daily life? Contentment frees us from envy and comparison, allowing us to focus on what truly matters. It is a reminder that your worth is not measured by your possessions or achievements, but by your character and the joy you bring to others. The Stoics also encourage us to find contentment even in challenges. Consider the story of a traveler caught in a storm. Instead of cursing the rain, they accept it as part of the journey and find beauty in the droplets that nourish the earth. Life's difficulties, too, can be seen as opportunities to grow and strengthen our resolve. Now, I invite you to reflect. What areas of your life could benefit from a mindset of contentment? What might change if you stopped chasing and started appreciating? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know what you already have that brings you peace or joy, and how Stoicism has helped you shift your perspective. If this insight resonates with you, give this video a like. Your support helps us continue sharing these timeless lessons and building a community centered on resilience and wisdom. As we move forward, contentment lays the groundwork for the next vital Stoic principle: generosity. Let's explore how giving to others not only enriches their lives, but also deepens our own fulfillment. 9. Generosity, the freedom of giving. What does it mean to truly give? Is generosity simply about material wealth, or does it encompass something deeper, a way of living that liberates the soul? In Stoicism, generosity is not measured by the size of what we give, but by the spirit with which we give it. To be generous is to act in harmony with our nature, to extend ourselves to others without expectation of return. The Stoics believed that generosity is a natural expression of human interconnectedness. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What is not harmful to the hive cannot be harmful to the bee." This profound observation reminds us that by uplifting others, we strengthen the collective whole, and in doing so, we also enrich ourselves. Have you ever experienced the joy of giving freely, a kind word, your time, or your support? In those moments, did you feel lighter, freer, and more connected? True generosity requires no calculation, no keeping score. It is an act of love and a declaration of abundance, that you have enough to share. Yet, in modern life, generosity can feel like a sacrifice. We worry that giving will leave us with less, that helping others might come at the cost of our own needs. The Stoics challenge this mindset, teaching that generosity is not about depletion, but expansion. By giving, we break free from the chains of greed and self-interest, finding fulfillment in the act itself. Generosity also teaches humility. When we give, We acknowledge that others' well-being matters, that their struggles are as real as our own. Imagine extending a helping hand to a friend or stranger, not because you expect gratitude, but because you recognize a shared humanity. This simple act can transform both lives, creating a ripple effect of kindness. Consider how generosity plays out in non-material ways. Listening to someone who feels unheard, sharing knowledge, or offering encouragement are all forms of generosity that cost nothing yet hold immense value. Have you ever considered how much power resides in a small gesture of understanding or empathy? But generosity is not about being reckless or self-sacrificing to the point of harm. The Stoics teach us to give wisely in ways that are sustainable and aligned with our values. Seneca advised, "Give as the sun gives light, it never grows poor." This metaphor reminds us that generosity, when practiced with balance, is not a loss, but a source of renewal. Ask yourself, how often do you give freely without strings attached? What might change if you embraced generosity as a way of life, not an occasional act? By shifting your perspective from scarcity to abundance, you create space for deeper connections and a greater sense of purpose. Generosity, in its truest form, is not about what we give away, but about what we gain in spirit. It frees us from the fear of lack, reminding us that our greatest wealth lies in the love, kindness, and support we share with others. With this understanding, we are ready to explore the next Stoic virtue, equanimity, the ability to maintain inner calm in the face of life's inevitable storms. Let us now turn to this essential practice and discover how it can fortify our spirits. 10. Equanimity, the calm within the storm. What does it take to remain steady in the face of chaos? To endure life's tempests without being swept away by fear, anger, or despair? Equanimity, as the Stoics teach, is the art of maintaining balance, a calmness of mind and heart that allows us to face life's challenges with dignity and strength. Marcus Aurelius offers this wisdom. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This is the foundation of equanimity, the understanding that while we cannot control what happens to us, we can control how we respond. It is a power that no external force can take away. Life will inevitably bring trials. The loss of a loved one, the end of a relationship, a career setback. These are the storms we all face. In these moments, the natural reaction is often to panic, lash out, or sink into despair. But what if instead we paused? What if we chose to observe the situation with clarity, accepting what we cannot change and focusing on what we can? Equanimity is not about suppressing emotions or pretending that challenges don't hurt. It is about acknowledging them without being ruled by them. Imagine a sailor navigating rough seas. They cannot calm the waves, but they can steady their ship and adjust their course. In the same way, equanimity helps us stay grounded, even when life feels overwhelming. Have you ever faced a moment where your initial reaction made the situation worse? Perhaps you responded to criticism with anger, only to regret it later. Equanimity teaches us to pause before reacting, to step back and assess the situation from a place of calm. This simple practice can prevent conflict, reduce stress, and lead to wiser decisions. The Stoics also remind us that equanimity comes from understanding the nature of life itself. Everything is transient: joy and sorrow, success and failure, praise and blame. By embracing this impermanence, we free ourselves from the need to cling to what cannot last. Seneca observed, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." Think of great leaders who have embodied equanimity. Nelson Mandela, for instance, endured 27 years of imprisonment without succumbing to hatred or despair. His calm resolve not only sustained him, but also inspired millions. What inner strength might you cultivate if you chose to meet adversity with the same steadiness? Equanimity also extends to our daily lives. Consider a moment of frustration, perhaps a delayed flight or a misunderstanding with a friend. What if, instead of reacting impulsively, you chose to breathe deeply, center yourself, and respond thoughtfully? How much peace could you preserve in your relationships and within yourself? Ask yourself, how might your life change if you practiced equanimity in every situation? What challenges could you face with greater strength and clarity? This balance is not a distant ideal, but a skill you can cultivate through reflection and practice. Equanimity, like all virtues, requires effort and patience. But as you nurture it, you will find that life's storms lose their power to shake you. With a steady mind and a tranquil heart, you can navigate even the roughest seas. From this foundation of calm, we turn now to a more deliberate way of engaging with the world: mindful consumption. Let us explore how this practice can refine not only our choices, but also our sense of purpose. 11. Mindful consumption, choosing what truly nourishes. In a world overflowing with distractions and temptations, how often do we stop to ask ourselves, do I truly need this? Stoicism encourages us to reflect on our choices, not just in terms of material possessions, but also in the ideas, habits, and emotions we allow into our lives. Mindful consumption is the practice of focusing on what truly nourishes our body, mind, and soul. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." This wisdom reminds us that the constant pursuit of more often leads to dissatisfaction. Instead, we should seek fulfillment in simplicity and intentionality. Consider your daily life. How much of your time and energy is spent chasing things that ultimately add little value? Do you fill your home with items you rarely use? Do you consume endless streams of information or social media, leaving yourself mentally drained? The Stoics remind us that overindulgence, whether material or mental, clutters our lives and clouds our judgment. Mindful consumption begins with asking, does this serve my higher purpose? Take a simple example, such as shopping. Are you buying something because it adds meaning or function to your life? Or is it a fleeting desire fueled by comparison or impulse? The same applies to how you spend your time. Are you scrolling mindlessly, or are you engaging with content that enriches your understanding and character? Epictetus advised, "The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best." This principle applies to more than just relationships. The food we eat, the books we read, the conversations we engage in, all shape who we become. Are your choices building you up, or are they distracting you from what truly matters? But mindful consumption is not about deprivation. It is about alignment, choosing what resonates with your values and brings genuine fulfillment. Imagine how freeing it would be to step away from the pressure to keep up, to acquire, or to impress. What if you could focus instead on what brings you peace, clarity, and joy? Think of those who have embraced minimalism, not as a trend, but as a philosophy. By letting go of the unnecessary, they find freedom and purpose. Could you apply the same principle to your life? What could you let go of to create space for what truly matters? Ask yourself, what am I consuming today? Mentally, emotionally, and materially? Does it serve my growth? Reflect on how mindful consumption could transform your life. Perhaps you could reduce distractions, cultivate healthier habits, or spend more time with the people and activities that truly fulfill you. If this insight resonates with you, share your thoughts in the comments. What is one change you could make today to consume more mindfully? Let us know how Stoicism has influenced your perspective on what you truly need. If you found value in these lessons, give this video a like to help us share the power of mindful living with others. With mindful consumption, we take a deliberate step toward living intentionally. Now, let's explore how kindness, the simplest and most powerful act, can transform not only the lives of others, but also our own. 12. Kindness, the power of small acts. Have you ever considered how a simple act of kindness can ripple outward, touching lives far beyond what you might ever see? The Stoics believed that kindness is not only a moral duty, but also an essential part of living in harmony with others. It is through kindness that we align ourselves with the interconnectedness of humanity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Kindness is invincible, provided it is sincere, not fawning or hypocritical." True kindness, according to Stoicism, arises from strength, not weakness. It is the quiet confidence of knowing you have the power to help and choosing to do so without expecting anything in return. Imagine a stranger bumps into you on a crowded street and blames you for the mishap. The natural reaction might be irritation or defensiveness. But what if, instead of retaliating, you paused and offered understanding? Perhaps they are overwhelmed, dealing with unseen struggles. By responding with kindness, you not only diffuse conflict, but also maintain your own inner peace. Kindness does not require grand gestures. Sometimes it's as simple as a smile, a thoughtful word, or listening when someone needs to be heard. These small acts create moments of connection, reminding us that everyone is carrying their own burdens. How often do we judge others without knowing the full story? Could kindness be a bridge to greater understanding? The Stoics also saw kindness as a reflection of nature itself. Just as the sun shines and the rain falls without discrimination, we are called to extend kindness universally. Epictetus advised, "Do not grow weary in giving to others, nor begrudge your neighbor the kindness that is their due." To live kindly is to live in accordance with the natural order, recognizing that by helping others, we help ourselves. But kindness is not always easy. It often requires patience, humility, and courage, especially in the face of hostility or indifference. Have you ever shown kindness to someone who rejected it? Did it diminish the value of your act, or did it strengthen your resolve to lead with compassion? The Stoics remind us that the virtue of kindness lies in the act itself, not in the outcome. Kindness also transforms us internally. When we act with generosity and care, we lighten our own hearts, freeing ourselves from the weight of selfishness and resentment. It is a way of nurturing our own spirit while uplifting others. Imagine a world where every interaction, no matter how small, was rooted in kindness. How much suffering could be alleviated? How much peace could be cultivated? Ask yourself, when was the last time you performed an act of kindness, no matter how small? Did it bring you a sense of fulfillment or connection? Could you make kindness a daily practice, a habit as natural as breathing? In Stoicism, kindness is not a weakness, but a profound strength. It is a choice to live with integrity, to see the humanity in others, and to act in a way that reflects the best within ourselves. With kindness, we create a world where peace and understanding can flourish. From the foundation of kindness, we now turn inward to explore its close companion, self-compassion. Let us examine how treating ourselves with the same care we extend to others can lead to even deeper resilience and peace. 13. Self-compassion, treating yourself as a friend. When you make a mistake or fall short of your expectations, how do you speak to yourself? Are your words harsh, critical, even unkind? Or do you extend to yourself the same understanding and patience you would offer to a friend? The Stoics remind us that self-compassion is not indulgence, it is an essential practice for resilience and growth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not torment yourself. Things have their limits. You are not required to be flawless." These words remind us that being human means being fallible. mistakes and failures are inevitable, but how we treat ourselves in those moments defines our path forward. Imagine a time when you felt overwhelmed by guilt or frustration over something you could have done better. Did berating yourself help you improve, or did it drain your energy and confidence? Self-compassion invites us to pause, reflect, and learn without the burden of self-condemnation. It is an act of wisdom, recognizing that growth comes from understanding, not punishment. The Stoics understood that perfection is an illusion. Epictetus advised, "When you make a slip, say at once, 'I am human.'" This simple acknowledgement does not excuse poor choices, but it creates space for accountability without self-judgment. How might your life change if you treated your mistakes as opportunities to grow rather than reasons to doubt yourself? Self-compassion also involves recognizing your limits. In a world that often glorifies relentless productivity and perfection, it's easy to feel inadequate when you fall short. But just as a musician cannot play endlessly without rest, neither can we expect to operate at full capacity without acknowledging the need for care and balance. Are you pushing yourself too hard, forgetting that even the strongest individuals need rest and kindness? The Stoics encourage us to extend compassion to others because we understand their struggles. Why then do we withhold this same compassion from ourselves? Consider how you speak to a friend who is struggling. You likely offer encouragement, patience, and a reminder of their worth. Could you offer these same words to yourself in moments of doubt? Self-compassion is not about avoiding responsibility. It's about fostering the strength to take it on. When you accept your flaws with kindness, you free yourself from the paralysis of shame and open the door to progress. Seneca wisely observed, "He who is brave is free." Freedom, in this context, begins with the courage to accept yourself as you are, flaws and all. Ask yourself, how might your life improve if you approached yourself with the same understanding you offer others? Could you become more resilient, less fearful of failure, and more focused on growth? Self-compassion does not weaken us, it strengthens our ability to persevere and thrive. As you reflect on the importance of treating yourself with care, consider how this practice aligns with the Stoic pursuit of virtue. Self-compassion is not only a gift to yourself, but a way to build the inner fortitude needed to face life's challenges. With this foundation of care and strength, we are ready to explore the final, most transformative Stoic principle, the cultivation of inner peace. Let us now journey inward to discover the ultimate key to resilience and fulfillment. 14. Inner peace, the ultimate strength. What does it mean to possess true inner peace? Is it the absence of conflict or hardship? Or is it something deeper, a steady calm that persists no matter what storms life may bring? For the Stoics, inner peace is not found in controlling the world around us, but in mastering ourselves. It is the unshakable foundation upon which a resilient and virtuous life is built. Marcus Aurelius captures this beautifully. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Inner peace is a practice of aligning your thoughts and actions with what you can control, letting go of the rest. Imagine how liberating it would be to no longer feel enslaved by external chaos, to carry a quiet strength within that no one can disturb. Consider the things that often disturb your peace. Is it a difficult colleague, a delayed plan, or harsh words from a stranger? Pause for a moment and ask, are these truly within your control? The Stoics remind us that it is not the events themselves, but our judgment of them that creates turmoil. How might your life change if you chose to release the need to control the uncontrollable? Inner peace begins with acceptance of the world as it is and of ourselves as we are. Epictetus taught, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do, and you will go on well." This is not resignation, it is wisdom. By aligning our desires with reality, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. Imagine being caught in traffic. Frustration builds as you think about the time you're losing. But can you change the situation? No. What you can change is your perspective. Instead of focusing on the delay, could you use the time to listen to an audiobook, reflect on your day, or simply enjoy the stillness? Inner peace transforms even mundane frustrations into moments of opportunity. But what about deeper challenges? Loss, failure, or injustice? Can inner peace endure in the face of true adversity? The Stoics believed it could. Seneca wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future, not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have." Even in hardship, inner peace is a refuge, a reminder that your worth and strength come from within, not from external circumstances. Inner peace also requires self-awareness. How often do we allow our thoughts to spiral into worry or self-criticism? The Stoics encourage us to examine our minds, to challenge thoughts that disrupt our tranquility. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me, or is it pulling me away from peace? The practice of reflection helps us to let go of what no longer serves us. At its core, inner peace is about living in accordance with your values. When your actions align with your principles, there is no room for regret or inner conflict. Consider a time when you acted with integrity, even when it was difficult. Did it not leave you with a sense of calm and pride, knowing you stayed true to yourself? This is the essence of inner peace, being at peace with your own soul. But inner peace is not passive. It requires vigilance and effort. Just as a garden needs regular tending, so too does your mind. Cultivate habits that support your tranquility, mindfulness, gratitude, and purposeful action. Protect your peace by avoiding unnecessary drama and distractions. Inner peace, once established, becomes your greatest strength, a fortress no external force can breach. Imagine living each day with a mind free from turmoil, a heart steady and open. How would it change your relationships, your work, and your sense of purpose? Inner peace is not a distant ideal. It is within your reach, here and now. It is the culmination of all the Stoic virtues: mindfulness, patience, humility, and self-compassion, woven together into a life of clarity and resilience. As you embrace this practice, remember, inner peace is not the absence of life's storms, but the ability to remain calm within them. It is the foundation of true freedom, the anchor that steadies you in every moment. With this understanding, you are ready to live fully, fearlessly, and with a spirit that commands respect from within and without. 15. Self-respect, the source of true dignity. What does it mean to truly respect yourself? Is it about achievements, external recognition, or adhering to some idealized image of who you think you should be? For the Stoics, self-respect is rooted in something far deeper, living in alignment with your values and maintaining your integrity regardless of external circumstances. It is an unshakable foundation, one that no insult or failure can erode. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." This advice underscores the essence of self-respect. It is not about seeking validation from others, but about holding yourself accountable to the highest version of who you are. Are you living in accordance with your principles, or are you allowing external pressures to sway your choices? Consider the times when you felt disrespected by others. Was the sting caused by their words, or was it the conflict between their behavior and your expectations? The Stoics teach us that self-respect shields us from the opinions of others. When you know your worth, no one's judgment can diminish it. Self-respect is also about discipline, choosing what is right over what is easy. Have you ever made a decision that compromised your values for the sake of convenience or approval? Did it leave you feeling fulfilled, or did it create a sense of unease within? The Stoics remind us that every choice we make builds or erodes our character. To respect yourself is to choose actions that align with your inner compass, even when no one is watching. Epictetus advised, "First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This practice of self-definition is key to self-respect. Who do you aspire to be? What virtues do you value most? Courage, wisdom, kindness, integrity. By defining these clearly, you create a guide for your decisions and actions, ensuring that your life reflects the person you wish to become. Self-respect also involves taking responsibility for your life. It is easy to blame circumstances or others for our shortcomings, but the Stoics teach that true dignity comes from owning our choices. Seneca wrote, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." To respect yourself is to face challenges with courage, knowing that growth often lies on the other side of discomfort. But self-respect is not synonymous with perfection. It is not about avoiding mistakes, but about how you respond to them. Have you ever felt paralyzed by guilt or regret? The Stoics encourage us to view our missteps as opportunities for growth. By learning from our errors and striving to do better, we honor our capacity for improvement and reinforce our self-respect. Imagine carrying yourself with quiet confidence, unshaken by criticism or praise. How might this change your interactions, your decisions, and your sense of fulfillment? Self-respect frees you from the need to prove yourself to others because you already know your worth. It allows you to move through life with clarity and strength, unaffected by fleeting opinions or superficial judgments. But self-respect is not only about how you view yourself, it also influences how others treat you. When you hold yourself to high standards, you naturally command respect from those around you. People recognize and respond to the integrity and dignity that emanate from someone who truly values themselves. To cultivate self-respect, start small. Reflect on your actions each day. Did they align with your values? Were your words and deeds a reflection of the person you aspire to be? If not, what changes can you make tomorrow? The Stoics remind us that self-respect is a practice, a daily commitment to living authentically and virtuously. As you embrace this practice, remember that self-respect is the cornerstone of a life well lived. It is the quiet strength that allows you to face challenges with grace, the inner compass that keeps you aligned with your values, and the foundation of a spirit that no one can break. Through self-respect, you create a life of purpose, dignity, and true fulfillment, one that commands respect from the world because it radiates from within. As we conclude this journey through the 15 lessons of Stoicism, ask yourself, what kind of life do you wish to live? One where you are constantly buffeted by the opinions, actions, and whims of others, or one where you stand firm, grounded in your own strength, wisdom, and self-respect? The path to a life of dignity and fulfillment begins within. Each of these Stoic principles, inner peace, mindfulness, impermanence, forgiveness, gratitude, humility, patience, contentment, generosity, equanimity, mindful consumption, kindness, self-compassion, and self-respect, is a building block for an unshakable spirit. They are not merely abstract ideas, but practical tools for navigating life with clarity and resilience. Taken together, they form a roadmap to a life of freedom, where no insult can wound and no setback can defeat you. At the heart of Stoicism lies a profound truth. You cannot control the world, but you can control how you respond to it. This truth empowers you to take ownership of your life, to act with integrity, and to cultivate a sense of peace and purpose that no external force can disrupt. Marcus Aurelius captured this beautifully. It is not the things themselves that trouble us, but our judgments about them. Reflect for a moment on the challenges you face. What would change if you applied these lessons to your life? Could you meet criticism with mindfulness, setbacks with patience, and conflict with kindness? Could you let go of what you cannot control, focus on what truly matters, and live in alignment with your highest values? The Stoics teach us that respect, whether from others or ourselves, is not something we demand. It is something we earn through the way we live. By embodying these principles, you not only transform your own life, but also inspire those around you. You become a beacon of calm in a chaotic world, a person who commands respect without ever needing to seek it. Now is the time to act. Begin by choosing one principle that resonates with you and commit to practicing it each day. Let it become a habit, a part of who you are. Over time, you will find that these small steps lead to profound transformation. You will discover a strength within you that no insult, failure, or hardship can diminish. A strength that comes from living in harmony with your true self. As this video ends, remember that your journey is just beginning. Carry these lessons forward and let them guide you. Reflect on them, practice them, and share them with others. The wisdom of Stoicism is not a relic of the past. It is a timeless gift, one that can empower anyone willing to embrace it. Thank you for walking this path with us. May you find peace, strength, and fulfillment as you continue to cultivate these virtues in your life. Remember, the respect you seek begins with the respect you give to yourself. Live with purpose, and no one will ever be able to diminish your dignity. Now, take a moment to reflect on what you've learned and how you will apply it. Wishing you wisdom and strength on your journey forward. Until next time, stay steadfast, stay grounded, and let Stoicism guide your way.